Hey guys, today we're going to take a closer look at the mover type. The mover type is what you would want to use to create enemy NPCs, monsters, mobs, any type of object that can harm the player and that the player can then defeat. And movers actually have a preset respawn time built into them. So once you place them in the world, just like in any platform game, they'll respawn after a couple seconds. So to start with, you're going to need the actual body or skin for your mover. I have this little monster skin from a previous area I worked on, so I'm going to use that. You can use any skin. It doesn't matter if you made it yourself, as long as you can place it in the world you're editing. So now that I have my monster skin in the world, I'm going to go ahead and create the actual mover. It's going to be under the moving subheading. Click change once. And now we have our mover. I'm going to name it monster. You do not need to draw anything in the graphic cell. You can leave it blank. The only reason you would want to draw something here would be to either alert the player that this is a mover, or for your own reasons, if you wanted to go back and edit it, it would make the mover box easier to find, but you can still find it by mousing over where it will be in the world. It will highlight a little bit in the sky. Now at the top we have 4 different options to further customize our mover. I'm not going to go into these too much for this video, but I'll just briefly mention them. This would be, the first one is for equipment. The second is hit protection, or the innate damage reduction for your mover. I'm going to leave it at 0. The third one is for a wearable for the mover to use. And the last is for an equipment for the mover to use. Now, for the wearable and for the equipment, these will actually stack with the mover's damage reduction and its harm setting. So if you wanted to make a non-violent monster that only periodically damaged the player, you could give it a harmful equipment to use and then program that into its code. And likewise, you could also make a mover that would have a certain phase during the fight where it couldn't be damaged, and you would do that by giving it a wearable with 100% protection, and you can program that in as well during the fight. I'm not going to do that today, but if you wanted to, you could. And if you click this question mark down here, it'll actually open the manual for movers and go more in depth into the commands. But today we're going to keep it pretty basic. So if I click this button down here, I open the attributes. I want my mover to be harmful and solid, and I would like it to move slow. The normal speed for movers is pretty fast, and the fast speeds are very fast. So I actually like to use slow and normal when I'm making monsters in my world. I would only use fast if it was going to be a more challenging fight. And then this button with the 3 lines opens the text box where we can actually code what our mover is going to do. Now, most of the time, all you really need is to tell the monster or the mover where it's going to be walking. And it can go up, right, down, and left. So this monster is going to go 4 spaces to the right. Then it's going to pause for 4 seconds. And go 4 spaces back to the left. And if I leave the code like this, it will do this forever in a loop. Even if you destroy the monster and it respawns, it will continue going in this loop. I'm going to click OK. And now it comes to life. And since it's solid, I can stand on top of it. But since it's harmful, my health bar goes down very quickly. And one way you could mitigate that would be to give the player the option of wearing armor in the form of a wearable item with protection on it. So here I have a sword with the harmful attribute checked. And that's all I need to destroy my monster. Now, if you wanted to, you could use the someone kills command and put that in your global area interacting to give a reward to the player for killing the monster. And what that would look like would be like this. Someone kills monster, +1 their points, and make sure you have points in the inventory of the interacting. So I'm going to add this to my world. The area will auto refresh since I changed the code. And now when I destroy the monster, I'll have points if I didn't have them already. Yep, so I just got 1 point for destroying the monster. And that is how you use the mover type to create a basic enemy that the player can fight and defeat. In the future, I may go over how to make the fights more difficult. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below, and I will address it as soon as I can.